And then I'm going to break it down into the parts. So, fetal positions to begin with. Bottom hand's the one that grabs the kettlebell. Bring them both close to the chest. From there, you're going to roll over. Okay, so I won't talk. Let me just show you first, and then I'll break down the parts. Okay, let's break it down into parts. So, let's go without load to begin with. So the first thing you need to do is go into a fetal position, and the hand that's closest to the ground, that's the one that's going to have the kettlebell. So make it fist there, other hand on top. So the first thing you want to do is bring it close to the chest, roll over. Now, where I put my feet here is really important, because what I want to do is start to set up my base of support for the next stage of the Turkish get up. So what I need to do with my legs is I want to feel like I'm in a stance as if I'm going to do a squat. Okay, so hands are here, I drive them both up, and what I want to do is really make sure I'm locking this arm out. So if this shoulder's popping, it becomes unstable. So when I really lock the shoulder in, really lock the elbow in, really lock the wrist in. So keeping this straight and stiff is crucial. So from there, I extend the opposite leg out. This hand goes down on the 45 degree. From there, what I'm going to do is initiate the move. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They roll up. And it's not a crunch. What I want to do is roll over. So instead of lifting my head first, I'm actually going to initiate the move with the hip. So I'm going to do a couple of pushes with the hip before I roll up onto the elbow. Now, the goal is to lock my joints at every point, because I don't want to not soften. I don't want to unlock at the joints. So see how I screw this bottom shoulder in, and it's as if from this hand, that line all the way through to my elbow. That's what I'm trying to stack. I can only stack that if my chest is facing that way, okay? So I don't want my chest facing the roof, because I unlock that shoulder. I'm going to rotate, so I'm very much sitting onto that side hip, and I'm extending through that top arm. Now, watch what I do with this hand. I swivel it back first before I drag it in, because I want that hand to go where the elbow is. Now, see this shoulder here? Once again, I'm going to rotate and lock that shoulder in that bottom joint. From there, drive the hips up. My eyes are still on the kettlebell. From there, step the leg through. Now, what's really important here is that I've got a tripod going. I'll explain that a bit more later. Okay, from there, I start to straighten up, bring the front foot in. Now, I don't want to hang out my lower back here. What I want to do is tilt the hip under. So I'm really thinking of getting that rib to hip connection, and I'm going to use that front leg to drive up. Keep this arm locked out before I step, lunge, tilt, swivel. Now what I've got to really do is make sure I swivel this leg enough to be able to open this hip up. From there, I start to pop the hip out. As I reach for the floor, eyes to the kettlebell again. Okay, so once again, I don't want to sink in my shoulders, I want to lift. From there, step through. Now, I'm going to drop to the hip, but I don't want to sink in the shoulder. So I don't want this to happen. I'm going to drop to the elbow, but I don't want to sink in the shoulder. So I don't want this sound. I'm going to keep lifting out. And then slide back and down. Bring the kettlebell to the chest. Okay, so go around the head. Now I'm going to make a fist with the bottom arm. So let me go again. Take the feet wide as if I'm doing a squat. Straight up, knock them out. Okay, hands on a 45, so not out here, here. Same leg out. Now, initiate from the hip. Good idea to just do a couple of those first, because naturally you'll want to lead with the head. Okay, so lead with the hip, and we're going to go over. Now, that shoulder, lift. It's really important you own every stage before you advance to the next one. So it's kind of like you got to earn it. Now, I'm very much sitting on the side of that hip. I'm not on 2 butt cheeks, I'm only on 1. From there, this hand, a swivel. From there, I drag it in, and I really plug this shoulder in. See the difference between that and that? So that's me kinking at the joints. This is me owning the lock. See how my chest is rotated that way? Okay, don't let that knee sink in. So push that knee out, drive this hip up. So go drive hard through this leg, go drive hard through this arm. Don't sink, keep lifting. From there, okay, this is the tripod I was talking about. So if I step this leg and I step it too far back, then I've got instability in terms of the hip is not lined up with the knee, okay? So I can kink or I can collapse at the joints easily. So I've got to get that knee underneath the hip. What I really love about this move is it makes you aware of where your body is in space, and you've got to keep searching for the feeling where you've got the most locked in position. Okay, so really rotate that bottom shoulder. From there, I start to look straight ahead. I get ready for a lunge. Now, let me just highlight here. If my foot is in front of my knee, I feel like I'm on a tightrope and it's really hard to balance. So once this kettlebell gets really heavy, little things like that make a massive difference. So if I'm here, I've got to get the feeling that, okay, once I go from here and I get ready for my lunge, I might just have to readjust that front leg, use my abs, straight up, step back, and lunge. Now, once again, I want to make sure I feel like I'm on train tracks with my foot and my knee, not a tightrope. From there, see how much I open up this hip. So that swivel, some of the smallest details are hugely important. All the smallest details is hugely important when you take a chair. So this foot here, I want to swivel, not kinda, I want to really own that swivel. See how much my hips open up? So when my hips open up, that gives me the ability to then pop and see how I'm reaching out. Common mistake people make is A, they don't swivel that hip enough, or they swivel the hip and then they reach back. That just feels horrible. I don't even have a kettlebell in my hand, I can't do that. Okay, so here, pop out, and I'm reaching out to the side, I'm not reaching back. Look at how much like tension that's gonna put my lower back. And when this is heavy, all of that becomes really obvious that it just doesn't work. Okay, pop out, reach to the side. I've got to really lock that bottom shoulder in. Now from there, I've got to lift and I've got to pause. I've got to own that position before I sink in the hip. Don't sink in the shoulder. So lift out of the shoulder. I'm going to go to the elbow, but I want to keep lifting out of the shoulder. And watch what I do with the hand. I don't roll back. I slide it out. And then my finished position is there. Okay.